the LEGO store at Rockefeller Center in New York City. LEGO is cutting 1,400 jobs as part of a reset. Chang W. Lee, The New York Times. To hold children's attention, LEGO has enlisted the help of Batman, Darth Vader and Harry Potter. Unfortunately, that does not seem to be enough. The toy company said on Tuesday that it would cut 1,400 jobs after earnings showed its revenue and profit both fell in the first half of the year. The results come as LEGO faces an increasingly competitive landscape. More children use mobile devices for entertainment, leaving LEGO to battle not just its traditional rivals like Mattel and Hasbro, but technology companies like Sony and Microsoft, the owner of Minecraft, and video game giants like Nintendo and Activision Blizzard. With its little plastic bricks, building blocks in children's hands but a bane of parents' feet, the company, based in Billund, Denmark, has grown into a global empire. But its struggles mirror the challenges facing toy makers that are seeking new revenue streams as growth slows in traditionally lucrative markets. Mattel, the maker of Barbie and Hot Wheels, went as far as to poach a Google executive to be its CEO in a bid to reshape itself. LEGO on Tuesday reported a 3% decline in net profit for the first 6 months of the year compared with the same period in 2016, falling to 3.4 billion Danish krone, or about $544 million, from 3.5 billion Danish krone. Revenue fell 5% to 14.9 billion Danish krone, from 15.7 billion Danish krone. The company, which appointed a new chief executive in August, said growth in countries like China had not been enough to balance the decline in sales from more established markets, like Europe. In an interview, the chairman of LEGO, Jørgen Vig Knudstorp, said it would take about 2 years for the business to return to growth, and he said that the job cuts, which equate to around 8% of the company's total workforce, were necessary because LEGO had become an unwieldy operation. A bit of bureaucracy has sneaked into what was quite an entrepreneurial organization, he said. It has crept in on us and we want to root it out, Mr. Knudstorp added in a statement on the company's website that the reset was necessary because the added complexity of the organization had made it harder for it to grow. The cuts will be made by the end of the year, the company said. LEGO had pulled itself out of a slump more than 10 years ago with an overhaul of the company. Since then, it has been growing apace, but its popularity has long been built off its classic collections, like the LEGO City, Duplo and Technic lines. As the company has faced increased competition from other construction toy makers like Mega Brands, as well as a wider array of entertainment available for children, it has sought to sign licensing deals and other agreements to attract new forms of revenue. The company now has deals to produce a range of licensed products, including brands like Harry Potter and Star Wars, and has had impressive success with its efforts in the film industry in a partnership with Warner Bros. Entertainment. The LEGO Movie was a surprise hit in 2014, collecting $469.2 million from a film that cost $60 million to make, but this year's follow-up, the LEGO Batman movie, was less successful, earning $311.8 million. The company is gearing up for a third film, the LEGO Ninjago Movie, which will be released this month. Analysts, however, had warned that the company's ambitions in the film industry and its hopes of profiting from the associated merchandise could end up hurting it, partly because children do not make emotional attachments to characters in a market that is so oversaturated with movie-related toys. And when children do go shopping for toys, LEGO often misses out on impulse buys, said Lutz Muller, an analyst focused on toys at Klosters Trading Corporation. The buyers have a fixed amount of shelf space, Mr. Muller said. They say to LEGO, you already have all this shelf space in the construction aisle, we can give you more shelf space in the action figure aisle. LEGO's more established markets were expected to run out of steam eventually, said Matthew Hudak, senior toys and games analyst at Euromonitor International, a market researcher. And LEGO will still have to grapple with mobile devices becoming a much bigger competitor for the attention of a demographic that can be fickle in its tastes, he said. The key will be to make sure that whatever children are doing on their mobile devices has some link to the toys being sold by LEGO. At the end of the day, they still have to try and keep themselves within the popular licenses, Mr. Hudak said. All companies are competing with smartphones. So it's about partnering with the right ones. LEGO has also tried to lean heavily on faster growth in China, expanding its office in Shanghai to 200 employees this year, up from 80 in 2014, in a market like China, where there's an emerging middle class that's becoming urbanized. Moving into cities, it presents a growth opportunity, Mr. Knutstorp said. That has come as toy sales in Europe have fallen off, from $45 billion in 2014 to $40.5 billion last year, while sales in the Asia-Pacific region grew to $65 billion in that same period, from $57 billion, according to Euromonitor. The company has done well marketing its products as educational tools, said Mr. Hudak, and tapping into the aspirations that middle-class parents in China have for their children. LEGO sells a range of learning products, including its latest robotics kit, LEGO Boost, which is intended to teach coding to children ages 7 to 12. Parents are starting to afford this more and they're using toys as more developmental tools, Mr. Hudak said. Follow Amy Sang on Twitter at @AmietSang. A version of this article appears in print on September 6, 2017, on page B3 of the New York edition, with the headline "Deconstructing a Struggling Toy Maker."